Good evening. Hi, Ms. Muhammad. Hello there, Brian, Ms. Collins. Hello, Mr. Allison and Mr. Thurton. Hi, Rob.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, James.
Hello, I assume it's Julia there behind the CB8 placard.
Good evening.
That is correct.
Hi. Hello, Mr. Hota.
Hello. Hi, James.
We'll get started here shortly, so.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Hello, have a good night.
Hello, Mr. Treza. While we're waiting, can the person who's dialed in with the phone number starting with 417 just list their name in the chat for us, please?
There is no chat.
Oh, hi, Wayne.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Again, I can't get in for some stupid reason.
All right. Well, at least we know.
There is a chat.
I'm on a phone.
Hi, Miss Gibbs. Miss Woods. Welcome, Miss Deborah Huru.
Good evening. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
James, I'm gonna try to log in again.
Okay. I'm sharing tonight's agenda in the chat. If you're here to have an application reviewed and not listed on this agenda, please bring it to our attention. Welcome, Ms. Tyus. Hello there, Mr. Michael Weatherby.
Good evening, Chair Ellis.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Thurton and Mr. Witherwax and Mr. Saunders. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Julia, I'm assuming that we're working off the same SLA roster that we've been working off of for January and December, that there's no edits that we need to be aware of for any quorum.
No, I don't believe so. I don't see Kim Robinson on this committee, on this meeting tonight. So no updates that I know of.
Thank you. Mr. Witherwax, do you have access to a voting register for documentation?
I've asked Julia to send it to me.
Okay, great. Is anyone here from the applicants? Let me see who I'm missing. Who am I looking at? Oxalis or Latino Sports Club? All right. Mr. Weatherby, may I ask, are you representing one of the applications tonight?
I am. Malabar Kitchen LLC, also known as Alta Calidad Restaurant on 552 Vanderbilt.
I'm just trying to put faces and names to the agenda items and the documents that I have received.
It's been a minute.
Hello, Mr. Hello, Ms. Weatherspoon. Hello, Mr. Welcome back,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Payne. Hello, Mr.
Good evening, all.
Mr. Hart. Hello, Mr. Puka. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we've officially reached a quorum. I'll double check with Mr. Witherwax if he's ready to go and he can verify that.
The roster is en route. I'll have it momentarily.
Great.
Okay, I'm good.
Great. All right, Mr. Witherwax, I'll ask that you please call the roll so we can confirm quorum and get started.
All right. Chairman Allison. Wayne Bailey.
Present.
Present.
Elbranch Muhammad.
Present.
Janet Collins.
Present.
James Ellis.
Present.
Oliver Hart.
Present.
Roger Myers. Robert Puka.
Present.
Brian Saunders.
Present.
Meredith Staten. Mark Thurton.
Here.
Ethel Tyus. Gib Vaconi.
Tyus is present.
Thank you. Irsa Weatherspoon.
Present.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax present. Deb Young.
Present.
Thank you. So we're missing Roger Myers and Gib Vaconi. Great. We have a quorum.
Mr. Staten is present.
Oh, my mistake. No, Mr. Staten is not present.
Tamika's name was not called, Tamika Gibbs.
She was not on the roster.
She should be. We had this issue before. She should be on the roster.
Okay, I will add her. And Miss Gibbs, I see you, so here you are.
Thank you. Present.
James, you're muted.
Damn it. You'd think 11 months later we'd get the hang of all this. But I thank you, Mr. Witherwax, for the role. I thank you for the corrections, Ms. Weatherspoon, and apologies, Ms. Gibbs, for the oversight. Just to get officially started, my name is James Ellis. I'm the chair of Community Board 8's SLA and Sidewalk Cafe Review Committee. I'm joined by Mr. Witherwax, our co-chair, and as well as our secretary for this committee. And so I thank you for the community's participation. I thank you for the committee's dedication, as well as all our applicants that have taken time out this evening to join us in reviewing the renewals and new applications presented today. Obviously, it is a unique time and to operate a food and beverage establishment, but we hope that this week, earlier, or was it yesterday? I can't recall. Friday's announcement by the governor that we'll start to see some indoor dining allowances in the near future. We just hope that all of our operators can maintain appropriate protocols and practices to keep our public and our neighbors safe as they continue to strive to
I'm sorry. Thank you for the time for today.
Right. Mr. Hota, can you just acknowledge your role in this application?
Yes.
Are you the owner? Are you the manager? Are you?
I'm owner of the restaurant.
All right, wonderful. All right, while I just read off your application for the benefit of those participants tonight, we'll just ask that you hold tight, and if there are any questions, we'll address you, please. So Mr. Hota is here presenting an application for Zigzag Enterprises, doing business as Uatora at 1075 Bergen Street. And Mr. Uatora, can you just remind us the cross streets of Bergen Street? What blocks between?
Between Nostrand and the Roja Street.
Wonderful, thank you. How long has your business been in operation?
It's been 3 years. It's going to be 3 years on March 6th.
Wonderful. All right. Mr. Hota is presenting Uatora's application for a restaurant bar with 7 tables and 14 seats, 1 bar with 8 seats for a total seating of 22. Hours of operation are 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week. Noise attenuation measures are keeping the doors closed. There are no outdoor spaces as part of this permit or application. And sound system includes speakers of 60 watts in the middle and back of the establishment. No live entertainment is offered, and 11 employees are on staff. There are 8 residences in the building and 9 residences left, right, and rear. No general operation changes and no operation changes planned. Mr. Hota, though, will you please just let us know how you're operating under today's current guidelines by the states and city's executive orders? Do you have outdoor seating currently, or are you just doing delivery and takeout?
We do delivery and takeout mostly right now, and we just made 2 tables, two seats, and the 4 seats table on the front of a restaurant. We have a roof and the door. I mean, the walls right for now, but it's supposed to be. We have to take off every day.
Gotcha. Thank you for sharing with us your operations. With that being stated, are there any questions or comments about the renewal of this application from any of our community members? Any questions or comments from committee members? Yes, sir, Mr. Puka.
I know Mr. Hotasan from a long, long time when he used to work at Sushi of Gari, and I can highly recommend the renewal. And I can highly recommend the restaurant. It is unbelievable sushi and sashimi. So I am good to see you, Mr. Hotasan.
Thank you. Good to see you, Puka-san.
Thank you, Mr. Puka, for that testimony. Anyone else from the committee have any questions or comments on the renewal of this application? You're seeing no indications in the chat or virtually. I'll ask for a motion.
Motion, the committee support the renewal of the application.
I second it.
I hear a motion from Mr. Vicconi, a second from Ms. Young. Are there any questions to the motion? All right, Mr. Witherwax, I'll ask that you call a vote, please.
My pleasure. Mr. Allison.
Yay.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Branch Mohammed. Thank you. Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Puka.
Definitely.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Tyus.
I support.
Thank you. Mr. Vicconi. Thank you. Ms. Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Witherwax, yes. Ms. Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes unanimously.
What's the count?
Oh, come on. I gotta actually count things. Give me a moment. $15 in favor.
I confirm 15 as well. Thank you, Mr. Witherwax. And Mr. Hota, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to presenting this to the full board next Thursday. If you don't have the details for the login information, just please reach out to the board office and they'll be willing to share that for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the time.
All right, Mr. Hota, thank you.
All
right, next.
Thank you.
Next application renewal for confirming is 659 Washington here. All right, we'll circle back to them. How about 856, 858 Bergen, Natural Tree?
Yeah, it's me. Hi.
Hi, who's me?
Alessandro Trezza, sorry.
Hi, Mr. Trezza, welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
All right, so we're looking at this as a renewal, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, can you, it's come to our attention both by myself and I believe my co-chair that we are unfamiliar with your establishment and we don't believe we heard from you upon the initiation of this application. Can you remind us of your past presence and presentation at this body?
Yeah, the name was Albero de Gelati before. It's my place from 4 years now.
Okay, so did it basically, there was an operations change that happened, so you changed the name of the establishment, but it's the same license?
No, it's not a change of the name, but it's Dantan start from Albero de Gelati. So we add some words, that's it. But the establishment, the place and everything is on the same name.
But is it the same license?
Yeah, same everything.
Okay. So I just want to flag to you, Mr. Teresa, that anytime you have a significant operations changes, it is expected that the community board hear about these as you make those changes. It doesn't mean that you have to seek the approval of those. I mean, based on your file changes with the state, they're going to allow what they're going to allow. But it is our assumption that all our applicants will come and present their changes of operation, whether it's adding a different set of food, if it's adding a new ownership, or in this case, a change in names and operations, because it seems that you changed the name of the business from what it was previously licensed.
We don't really change. We keep the previous name and we add some things about only Netron wine.
But weren't you were a gelato place?
Yeah, it's a bakery, gelato, and a small kitchen restaurant. It's the same thing right now, and we still sell gelato too.
Okay, all right. It seemed like there was some changes. Maybe it was more just in the addition of the wine program being expanded. But in any case,
I understand. Thank you.
Okay, so we were just unfamiliar with this, and especially for some of our neighbors that have walked by your establishment that brought it to our attention, we wanted to make sure we're understanding what's happening. So you've been in operation there for, you said, how many, 4 years?
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and read your application for the benefit of our meeting participants. So Mr. Trezza is here representing Natural Tree LLC, doing business as, and the name of the current name of the establishment is Albero
De Gelati.
Albero De Gelati, okay. Located at 667 Classen Avenue, which is actually also 856-858 Bergen Street. So that's between Classen and Franklin.
No, between Classen and Bergen.
No. You're on Bergen, between Classen and Franklin.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You're operating as a tavern with a wine, beer, and cider license. You currently indoor service area is 2 tables with seating for 12. No active bar station. Hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. No outdoor service area as your main operations. No entertainment plans, or you don't do any speakers or music or anything?
We have a speaker of music of 60 watt. I think.
There we go.
Yeah,
yep, I see
was
it
in
now.
the application. Yeah.
Yep, 2 speakers of 16 watts, but no live entertainment. 5 service employees.
Yep.
No major operation changes implemented, or other than a name change.
No, nothing.
Name change. All right, and then no operation changes planned.
No.
Can you share with us, Mr. Trezza, your current operations considering the executive orders from the governor and the mayor?
Yeah. For now, it's only delivery. We are waiting 14th of February just to start at 25%, but for now it's only to go and delivery through DoorDash.
Through DoorDash. Okay, thank you, Mr. Trezza.
Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments of this application from any of our community members that might be present? All right, any questions or comments from our committee members? I'm searching. I don't see any indications of questions or comments, so I'll ask for my motion from one of our committee members.
Motion to support the renewal of the application.
Second, Yrsa Weatherspoon.
All right, I hear a motion for Mr. Vicconi, a second for Ms. Weatherspoon. Are there any questions on this motion? Hearing or seeing no indications, I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to call the votes.
All right, Mr. Allison.
Yes.
Mr. Bailey.
Yep. Yes.
Ms. Branch Muhammad. Thank you. Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Puka. Rob, you there?
Yes.
Thank you. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Ethel Tives.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Gib Falcone.
Yes.
Thank you. Urs Witherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 15 in favor.
Wonderful, thank you. And Mr. Trezor, thank you. Again, I remind you that this recommendation to support will be passed along to the full board for their ratification. And we ask that some representative from your business be available at next Thursday's meeting, and information can be received from the board office.
Thank you.
All right. Next item is...
Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Looking again, 791 Washington. Is there anyone here from there? All right. 552 Vanderbilt. Mr. Weatherby.
Here.
You're up. All right. Let me go ahead and pull up your application and read that as a part of our record and for the benefit of our committee members. Mr. Weatherby, you'll just remind us your relationship to this application?
I'm one of the owners.
All right, wonderful. So Mr. Weatherby is here presenting a renewal application for Malabar Kitchen LLC, doing business as Alti Calidad at 552 Vanderbilt Avenue. Can you remind us the cross streets?
We are on the hard corner of Vanderbilt and Dean.
Wonderful, thank you. They have been in operation, presented as 3 years and 10 months as a restaurant bar with a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. Methods of operation include recorded music programming, 9 tables of 30 seats, 1 bar of 9 seats with a maximum capacity of 74. Hours of operation presented are 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday, 11 a.m. to midnight Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. on Friday, and 10:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. on Saturday. The noise attenuation measures include only recorded music, background music, suspend and drop ceiling that contains insulation to provide additional soundproofing upstairs. Table and chairs have foam core adhered to the bottoms. And excellent. So outdoor service, it also includes a sidewalk cafe of 20 feet by 19 feet. It is inclusive of 9 tables and 17 seats. The hours of operation for the outdoor service area are till 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. No music is included outside, and staff monitors the outdoor space. Outdoor service area. Music again includes 2 speakers of 100 watts in the ceiling. No live entertainment is offered. 15 to 20 service personnel. Security cameras on the premises. 2 residences in the building, and approximately 4 left, right, and rear. No operation changes implemented and no operation changes planned within the scope of this application. But Mr. Weatherby, we'd love to hear about your operations due to the executive orders of our governor and our mayor.
Yeah. Currently, we are doing primarily takeout and delivery. We do outdoor seating and have participated in open streets when weather permits, of course, which is very limited recently, especially today. So, and that's the extent of the current operations.
Wonderful. Thank you for that update. Any questions or comments for the renewal application presented by Mr. Weatherby? Anyone from community or the committee? Just trying to expedite this. Hearing or seeing no indications, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to recommend renewal of the license.
I have a motion for Mr. Viconi.
Second the motion by Tamika Gibbs.
A second by Ms. Gibbs. Does anyone of our voting members have any questions on the motion? Again, seeing no indication or hearing nothing, I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to call the vote.
Very well, Mr. Allison. So,
Yes.
am I muted? Good. Okay. Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
Ms. Branch Mohammed. Thank you, Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Puka.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Thurton.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Tyus.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Piccone.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Featherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Wax. Yes, Ms. Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 15 in favor.
Wonderful, thank you. And Mr. Weatherby, as I reminded the others, this will be presented to the full board next Thursday, and virtual log-on details can be obtained from the board office.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and good luck.
Stay healthy.
Thank you. Next item, checking to confirm if 665 Franklin has joined us. All right, and we'll move on to 769 Washington. I believe that's Miss Uhuru.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. Just give me a moment while I pull up your application. But in the meantime, can you just share with the participants of tonight's committee meeting your relationship to the application?
I'm the co-owner.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Because there's no more exciting place to be on a blizzard snowstorm than virtually with your neighbors. All right. Ms. Uhuru is presenting a renewal application for Eves 3 LLC, doing business as Eves at 769 Washington Avenue. Can you remind us of the cross streets, please?
Between Sterling and St. John's.
Wonderful. Eves and Ms. Uhuru, they've been operating for 11 years as a restaurant bar with a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. Current indoor service area includes 8 tables. I'm assuming we need, it says 2 seats at tables. That's at 2 at each table?
Exactly,
So
2 chairs.
Okay, so 16 seats at tables, 1 bar with 12 seats, and a total occupancy. I'm going to ask that you update your application and send it back and put the number of 74, because 75 triggers a different certificate of occupancy measures, and we don't want, if that's not necessary, that we don't need you to do that.
Great, we'll get that done tomorrow. Thank you.
Yep. So your hours of operation include Sunday 12 p to 4 a. Monday, sorry, I can do this much faster. It's 7 days a week from 12 p to 4 a. And no outdoor service area included. Sorry, scrolling through. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Speaker system includes 2 speakers of 50 watts. You do offer live entertainment. We'll just take a pause. Can you just share with us what types of live entertainment you do offer?
Yeah, from time to time, we have a piano player, to come in the evenings during dinner.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's been existing previously, before, like the last time you attended our meetings?
Yeah, pretty much.
Great. So service employees include 6. Security measures include cameras and ADT systems. 0 residences in the building. And there's no residence to the left or right of you?
No, it's a 1-story building.
And what about the buildings to the left and right of you?
Well, they're commercial. To the right of us is a commercial space. No, that's not true. To the right, there is some residence. It's a fairly new commercial space. On the ground floor, yeah, and then the ground floor, I think there's 3 apartments above. It's either 2 or 3. And the other side is a commercial space, natural blends vegetarian restaurant.
And so there's no residences above them?
No. So from my space all the way to the corners, all one story.
Lucky you. We'll just ask in that update when you change that occupancy number that you'll just update those numbers as well to make it most accurately reflecting of the circumstances.
Absolutely.
Also, please include anything if there's any if the neighbor's residence is behind you as well that your space may back up onto. But you don't use your rear space at all, right?
No, it actually doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the brownstone around the corner. So we never go out.
Wonderful. Okay. I mean, not wonderful for you, but it's good. Thank you for the clarity. It was more just clarity. Thank you. All right. No operational changes have been implemented. No operational operational changes are planned. But I will ask this opportunity of you to share with us your operations due to the executive orders currently.
So we did create an outdoor space, a heated outdoor space, and we have 5 tables with fiberglass partitions between each table.
Great. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments of Ms. Uhuru's application and the renewal of her establishment eaves? Hearing or seeing no indications in the chat or visually, I will ask for a motion.
I'm motion to support it, Mark.
Is that Mr. Mark Thurton?
Correct.
I second Tamika Gibbs.
All right, we have a motion to support from Mr. Thurton, second by Ms. Gibbs. Are there any questions on this motion? I've got to double check. Sorry, I'm in a different screen. No questions? All right, Mr. Witherwax, let's call the vote.
All right. Mr. Kirmany Allison.
Yes to support.
Thank you. Mr. Wayne Bailey.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Branch Mohammed. Thank you. Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Ms. Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Puka. Say it again, Rob.
Support.
Got it. Thank you. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Tyus.
Yes.
Mr. Vicconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Witherwax, yes. Ms. Young.
Yes.
The motion passes 15 in favor.
Wonderful, and thank you, Mr. Uhuru, for attending. As mentioned before, and for the sake of redundancy, just check in with the board office for the meeting for next Thursday to join us if there's any questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Circling back to 659 Washington, Restaurant Jen. Any representative for that application? 791 Washington, Oxalis. Any representative for that application? Or 665 Franklin, Latino Sports Club. Are there any indicators or people representing that application? All right. As we normally are wont to do, hold on one second. I guess we can go ahead and review Restaurant Jen's renewal. They did send us paperwork. Unfortunately, they did not send somebody in attendance. So at your own discretion, weigh that accordingly. But I will present this for the record. The applicant's name is Tetsuya Yamazaki, presenting a renewal for Restaurant Jen, doing business as Jen, 659 Washington. I believe it's at the corner of St. Mark's. They're open 12 to 10 or 11. Oh, I don't know. Time current operating in current location unknown. It is a restaurant with a wine, beer, and cider license, 20 tables with 47 seats, 1 sushi bar with 8 seats, maximum interior 55. Hours of operation are 12 to 10 Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 12 to 11 Friday and Saturday, with a closure indicated for Monday. Noise attenuation is limiting of music and sound to 24 decibels. Outdoor service area, not indicated. Nothing indicated. No live entertainment. 3 to 5 service employees. 2 residences in the building and 25 residents left, right, and rear. No operation changes indicated and no operation changes planned according to the application. Are there any questions or comments on this renewal application? I will ask any of our members to make a motion as they are so inclined.
I recommend we reschedule them for next month. I move that we reschedule them for next month so they can come and answer any questions.
A second.
Can I ask Mr. Witherwax if he can verify when their renewal is? Next month may be too late. That's why I say that, just as a question of the motion. Oh, looks like we might have lost Rob. Okay, so it looks like we might have lost Rob. So I don't have that support. Nope. Sorry, 1 second. He just texted me. Okay.
Mr. Ellis, may I ask instead of a motion to withhold support, are there any problems on your records for this business?
As we are normally indicated by the presence of the 77th precinct or 78th when necessary, they usually join us to let us know if there's any indications. They do receive our agenda and announcement of the renewals, and it is expected according to our request that they let us know if there's any issues with any of those addresses. That being said, we have heard nothing from the precinct, nor have I been in receipt of any complaints that have landed in the office of our district managers. I hope that's clarity for you. I don't know if that will.
I withdraw my motion to withhold support.
Okay.
I have a question, James. I have my hand raised.
Hi, Miss Weatherspoon. I'm sorry. I'm trying to multitask.
Okay. No, I understand. No problem. I just had a quick question because I was in and out a little bit on this. Did you happen to mention in the package if they had notice posted to the neighbors?
On Restaurant Jen?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything listed in the package for Restaurant Jen.
Okay.
So
do we consider that incomplete or?
It potentially, yeah. I was asking Mr. Witherwax before you fell off. Can you confirm when Restaurant Jen is renewal? Are they expiring at the end of February? He's looking it up. If it's more convenient, the address is 659 Washington.
It was January, actually.
So they've already. So, Miss Neal, this is where you come in. Are you in receipt of their 30-day notification and the appropriate amount of time for their expiration in January?
I am looking for the 30-day notice right now. I think I brought all of my paperwork back to the office. I pray I did not. Give me 30 seconds.
All right. That's one of the encumbrances we have, is that if it slips through, the SLA is known to auto renew everything, even if they don't fulfill their obligations to the community board.
While we're looking for that, I have a question. They did get notification to come to this meeting because they submitted the additional paperwork. Just want to make clarity on that.
Restaurant Jen made notification?
They did receive notification because they submitted the paperwork back to the board. That the questionnaire package.
Oh, right. So
Okay,
I think what we're asking is that they get notification from the state, and the state requires them to give 30 days notification to the community board.
I know, and y'all always ask for additional package to be submitted, and they submitted that. Is what I'm saying. So they well aware, knew of this meeting.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's all I was making sure.
Yeah. I hear you, but I'm wondering why they didn't come in January.
How did they end up on our agenda for February?
Aha, Mr. Witherwax.
I have some of my paperwork. Give me a second. This is the terrible thing about remote working. And when you're me,
why don't we hold on this application?
I have them in my hand right now.
All right.
Okay. That is that.
Just for interest, because I wasn't around in January, Imperial Bikers, Restaurant Jen, Latino Sports, May Station, Savvy Bistro, Sunshine, Oxalis, and King Thai were the renewals for January.
Oh, so those are all of January's renewals.
Yes.
Did we vote on any of those? I'm having a blank right now.
King Thai was at the main, and Imperial Bikers, certainly.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I don't have this month's. I have November's paperwork that was supposed to go back to the office. February's paperwork is already at the office. And they did not email us their notice. They mailed it to us, which is why I don't have a digital copy on my computer either.
Okay.
But if you're questioning if they gave us the exact 30 days, it's very likely that they did, that we just got it after the January meeting, which would have put them for February. And no, I do not always pay attention to when their license is supposed to expire.
Well, maybe we should work on a system to kind of adopt that can help us streamline that, because it's unfortunate that we're getting them on the agenda after their license has been renewed. I mean, not in, and obviously in the situation of this sushi restaurant, it's not a major concern. But if there were situations like other applicants that we've had here that have issues, we wouldn't want that to fall through as an auto renew. So, with the information being presented there, does any of our committee members feel inclined to make a motion just to record this item, or do you feel it necessary? Mr. Witherwax, do you have any counter opinion?
No, it's usual. There's no. They were a good actor in the neighborhood. There's no risk here, and I'm happy to rubber stamp a renewal that's probably already happened.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else with an opinion or thought on the matter? If not, maybe I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to form said motion, and we can move to dispose of this.
So I dropped out for a little bit. So we're just talking about Restaurant Jen?
Yes, they are the only ones that we received an application for of the remaining.
Okay.
Question. Did we receive anything that they posted the renewal? A photo of that?
Anything that any applicant sent to the district office per the requirements of their liquor license hearing for this evening was posted in the Dropbox folder. If there is no such posting, then we did not receive it.
While looking in Dropbox, there is no files that indicate a public notice posted.
I renew my motion to withhold support.
I second it.
Is that Ms.
Who was
Collins?
that?
I have
Yes,
a
I
motion to
second.
withhold, a motion to withhold support from Ms. Tyus, a second from Ms. Collins. Are there any questions on this motion?
The license has already been renewed. I'm looking on the SLA website. It's a moot question. They're good through 2023.
Okay, waste everybody's time.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Witherwax, looking, so we don't need to do any action. You don't think there's any action required? Is it worth immortalizing?
There's a motion on the floor,
Okay.
unless the maker wants to withdraw.
All right.
I withdraw my motion to withhold support because the license has already been renewed by the state. It's a waste of everybody's time.
All right. I see a question for Ms. Weatherspoon.
Yeah, I just realized that I'm waiting to say something about Oxales. I just want to say that they came through already, and we voted them yes, 11 yes, 1 abstain last month. So they're on the calendar today, but they've already been dealt with.
Right. Gotcha. That's what that was sounding familiar. What about, can you recall Latino Sports Club since we're on that?
Let me.
We did the Latino Sports Club.
No, no, and we didn't have Jen either. We didn't have Restaurant Jen either.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Listed as expired on the SLA website. Latino Sports Club.
Oh, okay. All right. So sounds like, let me just back up and make sure I'm understanding. So the motion to withhold support was withdrawn by Tyus. So that leaves us with the automatic renewal already deemed by the state. We can choose if we'd like as a committee or a body to send a letter to SLA just indicating our knowledge of this process, if that is of any matter.
I recommend we move the agenda and just leave it alone. It's done.
Okay. All right, if that being the case, we'll move along. The final item that we are here to dispose of is Latino Sports Club. There is no application received, and according to Mr. Witherwax, their license is currently listed as expired on the state's rosters. If there are any questions or comments, I'd ask for any motion to dispose of this potential renewal if needed. And remind me, Julia, once they're expired, do they have to come back in as a new applicant?
No, usually they just pay a fine, and they get their license. I don't know how much the fines are now. Latino Sports Club, I believe, is a private club, so I don't know how they're operating during COVID.
Operating fully publicly like any other establishment.
Okay. Well, I can say habitually over the years, they've had issues with their notification up to us, and they have had to get a waiver in the past, but I know that they're not going to get another one now. We actually got their stuff. I didn't see it. I didn't see an expiration date on their notice, so don't give me the lying. But well, don't know how to answer that question.
All right. Is it under your is it your understanding that if they were to renew their expired license and pay this fine, are they required then to notify the community of renewing?
They've already notified us of the renewal. This is pretty much all the SLA requires them to do on our end for us for the advisory portion. So if they go ahead and apply tomorrow for their renewal license with the state liquor authority, or whenever the 30 days is up for their notification period, SLA will say, okay, here's your $1,500 fine. I don't know how much the fines are. This is just, theoretical. Here's your fine and here's your renewal license.
Gotcha. With that knowledge being shared, I will just make a motion to withhold support at this time due to failure to appear and lack of documentation.
Anybody want to second that?
Hearing no second, would anybody else want to take a motion to dispose of this item?
I will second your motion, Mr. Ellis. Ataya speaking.
Thank you. So the motion, again, just a recall, is to withhold support at this time due to failure to receive documentation and to appear at this committee meeting. Seconded by Ms. Tyus. Are there any questions on this motion? Double checking the participant list in the chat. All right, hearing or seeing no indications, I'll ask Mr. Witherwax to call the vote.
Bear with me 1 second. All right, Latino Sports Club, motion to withhold. Mr. Kirmany Allison.
Support to withhold.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey? Wayne? Moving on. Ms. Branch Mohammed?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Gibbs?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Puka? Thank you. Mr. Saunders?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Thurton?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Tyus?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Vacconi?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Witherwax, yes. Ms. Young?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 14 in favor, 1 abstention. Our no-hitter has been ruined.
Hey, I think you have, it's 13 and
Oh,
1.
13 and 1. That's correct. 13 and 1.
That was so close to a no-hitter, though. Oh, well. Thank you, Mr. Witherax, for the support in keeping those votes and tracking all that. Since we are wrapping up, I want to make sure I didn't leave out anything. I'm just reviewing the agenda as posted in the chat.
So
We received, the only other one was Gadfly Lounge, and they have been postponed by the applicants. That being said, are there any questions or comments from committee members about any new or old business?
yes, Mr. Ellis, if I may. Looking at the database, there are a couple other institutions that are expiring in February that did not appear in my recent memory. Basil, 4 and 20 Blackbirds, Von Migos, Famous Corner, Secrets, Two Saints, and Heights Bar.
Wow. Well, I know Secrets is closed. I thought 4 and 20. Oh, that was over. They're over on Dean Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Secrets actually sent us their 30-day notice, but I received it last week Thursday, which is way too late for today. But it will be within 30 days for them to actually apply on the exact 30th day before the end of the month to get their license. Finn's Corner was approved. Well, it was approved, I believe, last month or the month before. And I think 4 and 20 Blackbirds is closed. I'm not even sure they survived their full first 2-year license. And what was the other one? Basil.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop them in the chat.
Basil has had some issues. Two Saints, I think, came in like December. Monmigos really needs to come back. I've actually was there last week. I don't see them serving any beer anymore. Also, Calidad wasn't that on?
We did that tonight. We did that one tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know what Heights Bar is.
1082 St. John's.
They're right off of Kingston. It's an old establishment. I think that's been there for like 40 years.
I think that's Kenneth Benz's place. I will check to see. They don't do email. He is literally like 98 years old or something. And he still hand writes his 30-day notices to us in letter form. So I have to see if a letter was received at the office.
Great. Well, thank you for that update. We'll keep an eye on those. We'll ask our neighbors and our committee members to keep an eye on. I think we know some of these have already come to us, but if you see other ones operating, to let them know we missed them. Any other new business?
Yes, I just wanted to. I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention, since Rob put it in the chat, Finn's was approved last month by the skin of their teeth. Just so you know.
Right, and just for clarity, Rob, they were approved, but with the removal of their rear yard at this time.
They were the ones with the TVs all on in odd places. Yep.
And now they put those TVs out on the front that Mr. Vicconi shared from social media. I've seen a lot of businesses do that though. It's it's a way to keep a crowd and keep them interested. Any other comments or questions? Otherwise, I will.
I have a comment. I have a comment. This is
sorry.
Timothy Gibbs.
All right.
I don't have a hand. I have my physical hand up. I'm sorry.
All right. Hold on one second, Ms. Gibbs. Before you started, was there another person too? I just want to acknowledge them now.
Yes, after Tamika, this is Muhammad.
All right, great. Thank you, Ms. Muhammad. Ms. Gibbs, go ahead.
Yes, I just want everybody to take into account and consideration. I was Imperial Bike is one of those licenses that were due to expire January 31st, and I told them in my application, everything ran late. I would allow like a little. Even the state has sent out their notifications late. I know because I didn't get a notification until November, and we would expire January 31st. And also businesses, if you're not a full-fledged restaurant, you're not able. You're thinking about, are you going to open up or renew your liquor license? So just keep that in mind, and hope everybody can press forward and move on into 2021 with a business at least.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Ms. Gibbs, and I appreciate you raising it. Thank you. Ms. Muhammad.
Yes, there was, I sent it to Community Board 8 to post. There was an interesting article in Bon Appetit about the differences in restaurants and openings, as well as economics and how different neighborhoods, different things happen. And I think it's something that's worth our board at Slack members read. And it was sent to us by one of the members of Crown Heights North Association. So hopefully the board will circulate it and you'll get an opportunity to read it, because I think it has impact on what we do in SLA committee also.
Great. Yep, I did see that article and I reviewed most of it. I think the TLDR part of it, the too long didn't read, is that they're comparing Vanderbilt per se to Nostrand, and Nostrand has a lot less opportunities to capture some of these unique programming allowances that are out there due to select bus services and short sidewalks and stuff like that. So I think just for our committee to understand of the plight of some of the businesses that we're dealing with and our applicants in our community, I think it's certainly recommended that you take a look at that article and gather a little bit of a unique perspective and understanding of the circumstances that are across our geography. Anyone else?
Just while we're on the subject of that article, I really found the reporting on Vanderbilt quite reductive. The journalist did not, as far as I know, make any effort to speak to the organizers or any of the restaurants there, and kind of presented it as this was some handout from the city, which could not be farther from the truth. So anyway, just to get that off my chest, I wasn't pleased by the coverage.
Yeah, I think it's notable to know that Vanderbilt, the success of Vanderbilt wasn't just related to infrastructure and design of the street. I think there's also something to be said that there was a contingency of supporters and volunteers that helped execute and produce the event. But
yeah, there's no other way for something like that to happen without a pile of people coming together and doing it. It was very much a grassroots relief effort to try to help the businesses on the avenue. It was not about the geography at all.
Yep.
I would say to Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. Ellis. I just want to applaud Mr. Vicconi for marshaling. I think it was 20 odd people regularly to tote out traffic containment barriers out and then back for each weekend to close the streets so that those businesses could continue to operate and have customers come in so they had cash flow to pay their staff. They saved a lot of jobs, all that work that Gibb and his neighbors did. More than 20 people. How many people, Gibb?
I think altogether we probably had close to 50 volunteers that worked on it.
It was absolutely remarkable, and if there's a way that we can replicate that marshaling of neighbors to help local businesses, we should try to do it.
Great. It's notable, and I would recommend that Mr. Saunders and the Economic Development Committee members also read that article and understand kind of the differences, and maybe we can work in conjunction with the Eco Dev Committee and helping share best practices and ideas. Share best practices that we can replicate in other parts of our community. But certainly that is one element of it, is the volunteer base that makes it successful. I think that's critical. Thank you, everyone. Anyone else? I see a comment in the from CB8. Charlene's is not closed permanently, by the way. They're still an active business on North Flatbush Avenue. And the others, she was just giving us an update. Eves was tonight. Cataldo was last month.
Yeah, these are the March renewals. Looking forward.
Sure. Gotcha. Thank you. But I just for clarity, Charlene's is not closed. They may have taken a pause.
Sorry, they sent an email out saying that they were going to be permanently closing. That was back in like October or November or something.
Oh, okay. I don't recall that, but that's fine. That's great. But I'm glad they were communicating to the board office. All right, last call for any questions or any comments or old or new business from any of our committee members before we adjourn. If no others, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Excellent. Sounds like we're all in. Thank you all. Have a great night. Stay warm.
Good night.
Stay safe. Don't travel if you don't have to.
See you all next week.
Good night.
See you next month. Bye.